Welcome to Friday Flip on the Becoming You Again podcast. Every Friday, I take your divorce problems, conundrums, and questions and do a quick flip around to empower you to show up as the best you after divorce.
Hi, welcome back to Friday Flip. Today's question comes from Callista. She writes, my teen got upset with me for setting rules about her phone. My ex doesn't make any rules that she has to follow, but I have set up rules at my house and she's always upset about them, rolling her eyes and telling me that I'm mean and that she's going to pack up and move to her dad's. I know she's doing this to hurt me and it does hurt. How do I get through this? Callista, thanks for your question. First, I want to make sure you understand that anything your daughter says or does isn't hurting you. It's the meaning that you're giving her words and actions that is what's hurting you. What are you making it mean about you that she is upset and rolling her eyes and threatening to leave? Why is all of that a problem for you personally? What are you making it mean? My guess is that it has something to do with you making it mean you are doing something wrong as a mom, or maybe you're just not a very good mom because you set rules and her dad doesn't. You're going to have to answer those questions for yourself, but it is important for you to understand why this matters to you, because that awareness will help you see why you're actually feeling hurt. That has nothing really to do with the way your daughter is acting or what she's saying. And second, let's slow down and think about why she might be acting the way she is. How does it make sense that she would be upset, that she would be rolling her eyes and threatening to leave? It makes perfect sense that she's acting this way, so why? I'm going to tell you. It's because she's a teenager. Do you know what teenagers do? They get upset over rules. They roll their eyes at things that they think are dumb or they don't understand, and they make threats because they want our attention in some way, right? So her behaving this way has literally nothing to do with you or your parenting or even the rules, and it has everything to do with her teenage brain working perfectly. She is doing what teenagers do. It makes sense. She doesn't know how to process her emotions properly. She doesn't even have a fully developed brain. She's not going to like rules, and that's okay. Now, I'm not saying you just give her permission to, be a big brat and speak to you in a way that you don't want to be spoken to, or not obey the rules and there's just no consequences and you just don't care anymore. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can kind of understand where she's coming from and why she's acting the way she's acting. And it's okay that she's acting that way because she's a teenager. It doesn't mean you don't enforce the rules, doesn't mean you don't have consequences for your rules. None of that. It just means you can kind of see where she's coming from. You don't need her to understand why you have rules, and you don't need her to like the rules you've set as her mother for you to believe that you are doing a good job, or for you to believe that these rules are for her benefit and will serve her in the long run. She doesn't have to know any of that. She doesn't have to agree to any of that. The only person who has to know that and who has to agree to that is you. She can be upset and act like a teenager, and you can still have rules and love your daughter and enforce consequences as much as you want. You can still have your own back and believe that the rules are there for her benefit. Because when you have your own back and trust that you're a good mom and that you're showing up in the way that you want to as her mother, her words and her actions, they don't have such a strong effect on you. That was a great question. Thank you so much for that, Callista. I will talk to you next week.
That's your Friday Flip. Stay tuned for the weekly podcast episode that comes out every Monday. And remember, if you want more one-on-one help from me as your divorce coach to help you create an even better life than when you were married, then you need to schedule your free consult with me by going to www.KarenNelsonCoaching.com. Remember, that's Karen with an I.